Hi, welcome to the Four Seasons of Prosperity, where we're exploring the question, what does Mother Nature have to teach us about being prosperous and abundant? And today we're going to look at an idea of honing in. So far we've talked about connecting head and heart. We talked about quieting the mind. We've talked about creating a vision book. You could also create a vision board, but I like the idea of a book because it's expansive. And we've also talked about your mindset. So I want to come back to the vision book for a minute today and talk about how do you use the vision book to then begin to hone in on what's really true. And years ago, I used to make a list of everything I wanted. You know, I read some blog post about making a list of 100 things and then cross them off. I always found that a little bit frustrating because I never got to all 100. And even if I picked out a few, they were always so specific. So over the years, what I've developed is a system that's both expansive and constricting. And I'll show you what that means. So I started with my vision book. As you remember, this was Ursula I put on the front of my vision book last year. And one of the first ideas in my vision book last year was connecting head and heart, which actually was one of our blog posts this time. And I don't know where that idea came from. It came from these pictures because I never really had it before, how important it is to connect your thoughts and your feelings when you're creating something. This was more of my pictures that I cut out. And my theme was joyous pursuit. So I had some things about what that might look like and some details. I needed to redo some of my face, what that might be. And I also put in here what I'd accomplished for 2020. So I'd done the same process for 2020. And so I reflected on how great it had come together for me and how wonderful 2020 had been. And I put it in here so I couldn't forget, so I would always remember. And this was kind of my big exploring idea. And here's what we're going to come back to and talk about today, called the Gertz Process. I know it's a weird word, but it really works. And some more of my pictures of what I wanted the year to be like. So I use these pictures to really ask myself, what's true about these pictures and what do I really want to happen in 2021? And I came up with this idea of joyous pursuit. Joy for years has been my word, but I realized that I spent a lot of my life in pursuit of new ideas, and I am a constant learner. So the thing is, I'm interested in everything, but I'm not always joyous about everything. So I decided for 2021, I was only going to be in joyous pursuit. So that was my guide. And that's my guide word. I'm going to be in joyous pursuit. And if it's not joyous pursuit, it's not in my thing to do. So that's one of the ways that it's both limiting and expansive. It limits me to say, if it's not joyous pursuit, it's not for me, but there's a lot that's in there. Then I write my intention. I always write my intention every year. And last year, my intention was to flourish and support others in flourishing and to be the wise woman. That's who I thought Ursula was on the front of my cover. She's the wise woman. And I wanted to be a wise woman. As you can tell from my gray hair, I'm getting older. So it's time for me to be the wise woman, right? And I wanted my roles. What was I going to do in my business? How was I going to interact? And I thought, I'm just going to limit myself. These are the things I'm going to do: write, speak, blog, vlog, and establish a well-worn path. In other words, show the way to prosperity, which we're talking about in this blog post, right? And my structures, if I'm going to do what I needed to do, I need solid structures with me. And the structures I felt were super important were, I needed an office that worked, because I wasn't going to go to the office every day, and I wasn't going to run the company every day. My COO was going to do that. And I wanted a COO who didn't have reasons about why things happen, but just focused on getting things done and taking care of clients. And I needed an EA, somebody who would help me, because I'm not a good detail person. I need somebody to take care of keeping me organized and getting my details taken care of. And I wanted expansive time. I've worked a lot in my life. I've worked a lot of 60-hour weeks. I was done with that. So I wanted my personal time, my personal choice to be expansive. And I wanted to travel more. And my test to tell me if I accomplished what I wanted was that I would have no client or project responsibilities. Now, when I started the year, I had a lot of client and project responsibilities. And if there was something that I could do that no one else could do, then of course I knew I had to really form some ways to delegate that, but also some better systems and processes. So by using this structure, you can see I limited myself, but I also expanded my possibilities. And shortly after I put this together, I got an email about a public speaking course that I had considered many years ago, but I had discounted because I didn't think I had the time and energy to take it on. But this was in the midst of COVID, and a lot of things were shut down, and I was here working, remotely, and I didn't have a lot of other commitments. And I thought, this is the perfect time, and I think I'm going to take it up. This is writing and speaking are top of my list, and I really never had any deep training in speaking and in public speaking. So I thought it was perfect. So again, it was restrictive because it said, I'm going to write, speak, blog, and vlog. That's all the roles I'm going to take on. But it was expansive in that something came up right after that I thought, this fits, but I wasn't expecting it. But if I'd made a list, it wouldn't have been on the list. So that's the way that the Gertz, G-I-R-S-T, Guide, Intention, Roles, Structure, and Test keeps me honest. And at the end of the year, I didn't have any project or client responsibilities. So I'm in the process of putting my 2022 Gertz together, and it's coming together. I've got it where I think I want it to, but still sort of gelling with it. So, which is what I like to do. I like to put it together and then sort of sit with it and see if a few days and a few weeks goes by, if it still really works for me. So if you enjoyed this, if you think this was a system that might work for you, the good news is that I have it all written down, and it is available on my website. So in the show notes, in the blog post notes rather, there'll be a link to that process. And I call it Gertz, but we've renamed it in the company. It's called Take Back Your Time. And it's taking back your time because you're getting very clear about what's important to you and how you're going to use your time. So I hope you'll find this helpful in creating what you want in your life and prospering even more than you are now. If you've enjoyed this post, share it with your friends. And I so appreciate your being part of the Prosper community. Thanks for watching.